Do you understand? But having said that, I'm not going to sit around and be like, I cut my own hair. And in my opinion, okay, if you are dishing it out, which Andrew Tate does regularly, it's you know, this is something I can make fun of. I think it's allowed. If you are dishing infinitely worse shit out, if you are dishing infinitely worse shit out on a regular basis, that's your main output. That's the only output. Okay? Then yeah, it's gonna come back to you, and it's valid. Also, I don't know where you got the tiny penis thing from. I wasn't saying that, but and even then, I'm not even saying this bald. I'm making fun of him for claiming that he was bald by choice. Something that he has like another lie, and perhaps like the funniest, like the least consequential lie he's ever told. You know what I mean? It's such a like low entry kind of take with respect to Andrew Tate that like his fan base getting mad at that is pretty funny. I'm also a huge fan and also bald. Your jokes get under my skin sometimes. Perhaps something that should get under your skin is minoxidil and Propecia. Consult a medical professional before taking either. Bro, I have male pattern baldness in my entire family, okay? Literally. I do it. I treat it, okay? Stop crying to me. Bro, that shit is expensive. I don't want to do an ad, but no. You would be surprised. I find it hilarious that Andrew Tate, whose entire output is about body shaming and infinitely worse things like objectifying women, talking shit about women in general, has cultivated a fandom of some of the most fragile, thin-skinned human beings. Like the amount of replies that I read from Tater Tots saying like, wow, he's in prison, dude. Yeah, I know he's in prison, dog. I know. But like the amount of Tater Tots that have been like, dude, wow, body shaming much? Like, yeah, I am, dude. I mean, not really. I'm just making fun of him lying about even being bald by choice. But like, yeah, I body shame him from time to time. He has no jaw, for example. Yeah, he has no jaw. But like, you can't do the no body shaming shit, okay? You can't. You're alpha. You're alpha male. You think alpha males go on Twitter and cry about body shaming? Are you a freshman in college with blue hair and pronouns? Are you they, them crying about body shaming on Twitter? Meanwhile, Andrew Tate's tweeting like he's Dostoevsky in his jail cell. This is pretty funny, too. Beauty is fleeting. There's currently a snowstorm here in Romania. The metal stings like ice. They say you do not truly appreciate something until it's gone. It is absolutely true. There is no light without dark. The smallest and most casual of things are truly beautiful in hindsight. I'd pay $10,000 for a hot coffee or a hot shower. You've been taking the sun for granted as it rests on your hand while you drive to work. You don't fully appreciate your last glass of clean water. When you truly recognize every experience is fleeting, you learn to smile in the rain. You see the beauty in the raindrops, in the absolute silence of solitary. There's even beauty in the blistering cold. So what's up? Is prison rehabbing him? Like, what's happening? Is he going to be like a good guy? Did they break him? Is this the one good, like, he thinks he's Mandela? In some ways, he is. He is the Nelson Mandela of women hating. I'm arrested by people who are defending the rights of women. He's about to write a letter from Romanian prison. The myth of the white moderate. The white moderate places a time frame on another man's emancipation. Oh, dude, holy shit. How dare you? Or yeah, he's going to write a different kind of prison book like My Struggles. I should have clean water and hot shower. Come on. He still has human rights in prison. This guy. Wait, what? Regardless of how disgusting he is and his acts are. First of all, yes, of course. Of course, I believe that everyone, including Andrew Tate, deserves hot water and a clean shower in prison. That attitude has not changed. I do not give a... I will, however, still make fun of him when he's like writing about how like he's being devastated currently in prison. Maybe not hot water, but clean yet. No, dude. What? No, he should definitely get. He should definitely have like a base level of comfort. Everyone deserves that. This is what makes us human. Okay, he has human rights. Everyone does. I don't give a. Yeah, if you read books, you're gay, but you can wax poetic on a beautiful on the beauty of sunshine, and that's not gay because you're in prison at that point. New article. An alleged victim in the case against online influencer Andrew Tate appears to have told prosecutors that she was forced to earn a minimum of 10,000 euros a month on social media platforms under the threat of physical violence. The testimony, which appears, the document also outlines the witness's fears that the group would publish intimate videos and photos of her if she tried to quit, as she says they did in the case of another woman. Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan are being held in preventive custody in Romania while police investigate allegations of human trafficking, which both men deny. How do you know the articles you're reading are a good source of truth? I mean, it's BBC, man. I've said this before, but like all mainstream media outlets have like personal biases, obviously. But you know, if we're talking about like if we're talking about like Andrew Tate being arrested, then that's not necessarily a personal bias that like the BBC has against him. You know what I mean? If we were talking about like American news, for example, American news will never write positive coverage over healthcare, like free healthcare. Okay? They won't. You just have to recognize who's funding media outlets and what their overarching goals are. They defend cops, they defend capital, they defend corporations. But when it comes down to it, like some low-level like trafficker getting arrested in Romania, that's not like, they don't need to like lie about anything there. You know what I mean? Low level, he's the top G. Yeah, well, you know, he is low level. Sorry. Anyway, two Romanian women and close associates of theirs, Georgiana Nagel and Luana Radu, are also being held alongside them. The leaked documents from the Romanian court, which contain more detailed allegations than publicly available court statements, also describe debts being used as a form of psychological coercion by the group. So-called fines were imposed by the defendants if the girls did not post on OnlyFans, the documents claim, with one witness owing at that time the sum of 4,000 euros. In a separate piece of testimony, other witnesses describe working on the TikTok and OnlyFans platforms for several months in 2021 without a contract on a schedule set by one of the defendants. She was allowed to keep 50% of her earnings, but the remaining 50% divided between the Tate brothers and their alleged managers. She also alleges she was not allowed to leave the location unless accompanied. Some of the alleged victims deny any form of exploitation by the four defendants, the court says, but these statements do not reflect reality, as the victims of human trafficking do not always recognize the fact that they have been enslaved or exploited. Yeah. That is also the reason why they're like Tim Pool and others are basically using that one line that the Romanian court put forward as though like, oh, because two of the people that were certainly groomed into sex trafficking are defending Andrew Tate still, that means like the entire case is bullshit. When in fact, if you have ever covered sex crimes, grooming, and cults, and sex trafficking in general, you know that there are always defenders of the sex criminal. There's always defenders. NXIVM is a perfect example of this. We've talked about this. The sex cult victims of NXIVM that were groomed literally still go to the penitentiary that he's held at outside and do protests to like release him. But everyone understands that they were certainly sex trafficked. You know what I mean? But ultimately, you can't look at like people who were groomed in trafficking, like a couple of the victims saying, no, actually, we loved that we were branded by Andrew Tate, and go, okay, I guess there was no trafficking, you know? You can't do that. That would be insane. It blows my mind that people who will defend someone like Andrew Tate, where did you even find this, dude? You just found this like random person with one like that doesn't even follow me, and you sent it can't be a self-tweet. You literally said on video that he with a 16-year-old and that he would keep their cam girls money so they couldn't leave or object. I just can't understand any defense of that. And I think that guy's a conservative who said that, by the way. So, you know, that has been your brief Andrew Tate update.
No, on the inside, you can check with a God. I felt like my whole relationship with you was a lie. It was you and I, why did I think it was ride or die? Cause if you could've took my life, you would've. It's like you put a knife to my chest and pushed it right through to the other side of my back, stuck a spike too. Should've put up a war, fight, but I couldn't. Now, no one can hurt me like you could've. Take you back now, what's the likelihood of that? Fight, bitch, chewing a 19-footer. Cause this morning I finally stood up. Held my chin up, finally showed a sign of life in me. First time since you left me with nothing but shattered dreams of the life we could've had and we could've been. But I'm breaking out of this slump I'm in, pulling myself out of the dumps once again. I'm getting up once and for all, fuck this shit.
What if I lost touch? What if I'll never get it right? I try to follow my heart, but I lost it somehow. Wish that someone could say it'll all be okay. Just listen to me as I say, you will find a way. Slow it down, dreams are yours if you want it. Enjoy the ride, there's those ups and those downs. It's what makes it worth the while. You will make it in time. You'll make it in time, 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 time. What makes it worth the while? You will make it in time. You will find a way. Slow it down. Dreams are yours if you want it. Enjoy the ride. There's those ups and those downs. It's what makes it worth the while. You will make it in time. You will make it in time, time. You'll make it in time, time. You'll make it. What makes it worth the while? You will make it in time.
Netflix has finally followed through on their worst idea yet, and no, I'm not talking about renewing Big Mouth for another season. It's an idea even worse than that. It's blocking password sharing. So from now on, anyone that doesn't live in your house, inside your walls, inside your own imagination, will no longer be able to have a Netflix profile using your account. What does this mean for Netflix? Well, it means that they're going to see a drastic decline in subscribers, I imagine, because they fail to realize that this isn't some kind of must-have item. It's not some inelastic good that everyone needs to own. It's a luxury, and it's an expensive one, and it's a catalog of mostly dog shit. More like net shits, am I right? So if they can't share an account with someone that's already paying, it's not like that person's going to go out and subscribe to Netflix. Their catalog's not strong enough for that. They'll just go to a different service or they'll start pirating. So I imagine once this fully goes into effect, Netflix stock price will be flushed straight collapse. It's going to be a bigger jump scare than the time Bilbo Baggins transformed and got angry at Frodo in the first Lord of the Rings movie. Now let's take a peek under this hood here and see what Tow Mater has cooked up for us. So this is the plan on how they're going to enforce it. Netflix accounts are still shareable, but only within one household. Thus, they're not shareable, it's just one house has access to it on X number of devices, depending on how much you pay per month. It's very misleading, it's not fucking shareable. It's about as shareable as a toilet in my house. Yeah, you can come over and use it, but I can't take that toilet to any of my friends' places. So to ensure that your device is associated with your primary location, Netflix is now asking users to connect to the Wi-Fi at your primary location, open the Netflix app or website, and watch something at least once every 31 days. So this is their safeguard. Within a 31-day period, you have to log in on the primary location Wi-Fi and watch a program. Otherwise, you're blocked. Can you still share Netflix with someone who doesn't live with you? As a big fat fucking no. Accounts are only meant to be used within one household. Netflix will prompt users who try to sign into your account elsewhere to sign up for their own account instead and block their access until they do. Netflix will not begin automatically charging account holders whose information is used outside of their homes. Can other users on Netflix accounts save their profiles? Yes, Netflix offers users a profile transfer feature that will allow them to migrate their show recommendations, watch history, and more to their own account if they decide to create one. This will give password sharers the opportunity to preserve their profile if they sign up for their own Netflix account. Legitimately probably the last thing people give a fuck about. I just can't imagine someone sweating profusely. Oh geez, they just cracked down on password sharing. Okay, God, I'll make another account quick. Oh, but what about my profile, my watch history? Oh my God, I might lose it. Oh no, no, no. Oh, good. Okay, I get to keep that. What's going to happen in 9 out of 10 cases, I imagine, is everyone that loses access to their account because they're not part of the primary household, they're just going to go to a different service or start pirating. It's 2023. Everyone knows how to torrent shit. It's like this industry just forgot about that whole piracy boogeyman. You wouldn't download a car, would ya? One of the main reasons streaming popped off so hard and actually did take a big chunk out of piracy is because it was just more convenient, easier, and quicker to pay money every month to have access to the content as opposed to torrenting it. So they just offered convenience for money more so than like great content, because a lot of the originals suck fuck. You just released Witcher Blood Origin, for example, on Netflix. You're not really keeping people like by the balls in a stranglehold because your originals are so great. There are some bangers, of course, but that's really not the primary reason. It was just convenient, and it was easier and quicker than torrenting. But now you're going to have a ton of people that lose access. According to Netflix estimations, 100 million users worldwide are using the service through the login credentials of someone else. So after this bomb drops here, after the nuke is deployed, where do you think those 100 million users are going to go? Because it's not to your website to sign up, at least not the majority of them. It's anywhere else, and a lot of it's going to just be straight up piracy. I don't know how they couldn't foresee that. I imagine that's going to be the reality of the situation, especially with how cutthroat this all appears to be. So can you still use Netflix while traveling? Signing into Netflix outside of your home may lead to the device in use being blocked from Netflix, but they have a workaround. Travelers who want to use Netflix on hotel, smart TV, company laptop can request a temporary code from the service when signing in. This will give them access to their account for 7 consecutive days. Wow, what saints. So you get 7 days of using your Netflix account outside of your own home. And then you have to come back to the headquarters and touch the base to refresh it at your primary location, otherwise you're fucking blocked. So God forbid you have a vacation that lasts more than 7 days, because you're shit out of luck if you wanted to watch Netflix during that time. And also, if you're someone that likes to at least have a Netflix account shared between households, like let's say parents get divorced and they still would like the kids to have access to their accounts across the 2 households, well, you're fucked. Under no circumstances can a Netflix account exist outside of the primary household for more than 7 days. So it's always going to need to be individually paid for, no matter what, it seems. So, pretty brutal. They're not pulling any punches with this protocol. And God forbid you make any mistake like not watching something within 31 days, because even if you're in your own household, shit can just get blocked, it sounds like. If your device has been blocked incorrectly, you'll need to contact Netflix in order to get it unblocked. That sounds really nice, easy, and convenient. Contact the fucking support hotline at Netflix, which is an absolute goddamn disaster. All of these big company support lines are complete trash. So, you know, God forbid you forget within the 31 days, or you accidentally stay in a vacation for 7 days and 30 minutes and now you're over the quota and you're blocked on there. Like, there's no wiggle room here at all. And then you have to contact Netflix hotline, which is a fate worse than death. So, that sucks. And then you can get a real nice peep at the prices down there. There's basic with ads for $7 a month. That sounds great. Just go ahead and cuck me. I'm paying $7 and I still get fucking ads on your service. Wow. Sign me the fuck up. That sounds amazing. Then there's basic with $10 a month, no ads, only one device still. Standard at $15.50 per month for 2 devices, and then premium at $20 a month. So clearly they're expecting some kind of huge drop off in the amount of subscribers here, which is of course going to be detrimental to the overall health of the company. So the prices are supposed to reflect that. They're hoping to make it up in this area. But I don't see it offsetting the large amount of people that will just not be signing up once they lose access. Again, the Netflix originals aren't strong enough to keep people hooked, and everyone knows how to torrent shit in 2023. If they were really desperate to see the originals, they'd probably just fucking pirate it. And I don't know how they could be so delusional that they've convinced themselves that the hit they're going to take from this is negligible in the long run to the amount of subscribers they'll gain. I just don't see them gaining any meaningful amount. You're kicking them out and spitting in their face. Why are they coming back? Most of the people that use Netflix probably signed up during COVID when there was nothing else to do. But now, once you kick them out, it's not like they're that desperate for that kind of entertainment anymore. They'll just do other shit in their downtime. And especially after you fucking use and abuse them here with this new system and the prices, I just don't see it going over well. You can already see the response is overwhelmingly negative, even from like the ultimate consumers that just fucking love consuming everything. Even they're calling this out, talking about how this is finally just going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, that they're going to cancel Netflix. So they're losing their pay piggies as well. So no one likes this, no one at all, and I'm sure Netflix won't like this 6 months from now. That's my prediction. I guess I could be totally wrong, but I guess we'll see. That's about it. So yeah.
In political news, another tough week for the Tories.
The government insists that the Deputy Prime Minister, Dominic Raab, values civil servants after claims that he was rude to staff.
Not only is he rude, he's also pathetic. Look at this. He was accused of chucking 3 Pret a Manger tomatoes in a fit of rage. It's the most middle-class assault ever. Step back or I'll turn you into a bruschetta. Mind you, the news was shocked. Apparently, they interviewed someone who was in the room.
Can you explain what it was like to be right in the heart of Dominic Raab's attack?
I don't know. I'm a fucking tomato. Incredibly, it's not just Dominic Raab. Did you hear about Gavin Williamson?
Cabinet Minister Sir Gavin Williamson steps down over allegations of bullying.
So, did he call someone a snowflake? Leave a passive-aggressive note?
He's reported to have told a civil servant to slit their throat and jump out of a window.
Wow. Now, not only is that shocking, it's impossible.
How to open a window.
There's more. Look how he dealt with civil servants.
Sir Gavin said,
always tell them to off, and if they have the to come and see me, jumped up civil servants.
Fucking civil servants. They should shoot themselves in the face and then give themselves a Chinese burn. He's an absolute maniac. Did you hear what he had on his desk?
This is a man who, when he was chief whip himself, was known as the baby-faced assassin. He had an actual whip on his desk, as well as a pet tarantula.
Is he in fucking Slytherin? I mean, Christ, check out the spider's name. He called it Cronus.
We must bide our time, Cronus,
for soon the Dark Lord will return. What makes all these bullying accusations even worse is that 2 years ago, Gavin made this video.
This week, Anti-Bullying Week, is a chance to thank schools and teachers for everything they do to make the classroom a safe place for every child to thrive. Bullying is never acceptable.
Bullying is never acceptable.
This is a civil servant and your spider longs for their muggle blood.
Such a piss take, isn't it? Here's how that advert should have looked.
Bullying is never acceptable. Every school must have anti-bullying policies in place so that no pupil fears coming to school or working online. We can make sure every child grows up feeling confident and free to be themselves and stamp out bullying.
My Thank you, madam. Yes! Mind you, it's not just Gavin. His colleagues are just as mad.
A group of whips so disliked him that they had a discussion about whether they could come in early one morning, release the pet tarantula and stamp it to death.
Is everyone involved in politics a psychopath? I'm not a massive fan of Piers Morgan. I don't want to headbutt his budgie. Also, didn't Rishi say this 3 weeks ago?
This government will have integrity, professionalism, and accountability at every level.
Integrity? You're surrounded by tomato flingers, throat slitters, and spider stampers. And it doesn't stop there. Earlier this year, the Tories put forward a council candidate called John T. Campbell, who said, possibly the creepiest thing I've ever heard. Girls smell better at 16 than at 28. A, why would you say that? B, how do you know? Just... Oh, she's 29. Feed her to the spiders. Can it get creepier? Yes, it can. He said girls aged between 16 to 23 have a buttery, sweet smell. You're right. They're women, not margarine. They're utterly. I can't believe I'm not on a register. There's more, man. He describes their smell as unbelievably magnetic. The only thing magnetic should be the tag on his ankle. It's so shocking. But it's not surprising. Did you know at a Downing Street Christmas party, they handed out a Sexist of the Year award? It's ridiculous. We've actually got hold of the nominees.
The nominees for Sexist of the Year are Boris Johnson for presiding over a culture of misogyny in number 10, Dominic Raab for calling feminists obnoxious bigots, Boris Johnson for allowing a domestic abuse bill to be dropped, Neil Parish for watching pornography in the House of Commons, Boris Johnson for abstaining from Westminster votes on abortion, Boris Johnson for referring to women using their husband's name, Boris Johnson for talking about women's breasts, Boris Johnson for looking... Wait, can we just accept that Boris has won this? It's been a bad week for the Tories. It wasn't just the climate deal. They are dripping in sleaze.
The Prime Minister is accused of corruption and trashing democracy as MPs debate parliamentary standards.
There have been calls for more resignations, for apologies and for public inquiries.
For lobbying second jobs.
Seats in the House of Lords.
COVID contracts.
Breaking the rules.
Sleaze.
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 Sleaze. Sleaze, 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 sleaze.
It's unbelievable. One of the worst was Geoffrey Cox. He's the MP for Torridge and West Devon, and yet, look where he was during lockdown.
But Sir Geoffrey Cox spent a chunk of the year working in the British Virgin Islands.
He was in the Caribbean. Fuck you, West Devon! It's happy hour down the Calypso Club! Ba, 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 ba. Now, predictably, some of his constituents were less than impressed.
How can he be representing people here in West Devon if he's spending a month in the Virgin Islands?
This guy, a little bit more peeved.
You're a bunch of cunts.
No wonder he's angry. Have you seen how much money Cox has earned on the side?
Turns out he's earned almost $6 million since becoming an MP through second jobs.
And yet, this is the same guy who tried to charge the taxpayer £2 for a box of tea bags. That's right, he's physically and metaphorically teabagging the nation. And what's worse, there was an emergency debate on sleaze in Parliament. Look how many Tories went.
Only 46 out of 360 Tory MPs bothered to turn up to debate it.
It was a debate about MPs doing their job, and they didn't even go. No one else could do that. Why didn't you come in for your job review? Oh, I've written it down here. I couldn't be fucked. I wish I'd known about this as a kid.
Mum, I'm not going to parents' evening. They're going to make me look like a dick.
You got to go, you got to learn that. Even Boris Johnson missed the debate because he was doing what he does best, going to a hospital and not wearing a mask. And yet, despite all this, the Tories are still ahead of Labour in the polls. Boris Johnson is Teflon, nothing sticks. He gets away with anything. I'm not mucking around. He could give Ed Sheeran a wedgie, punch Mary Berry in the tits, and people would still go, he's all right though, isn't he? Isn't he? He could be caught in a nursery doing Jaeger bombs dressed as Jimmy Savile, and people would still be like, I just prefer him to Keir Starmer. Maybe Labour need to sex the leader up, make him look more dynamic. Trouble is, it's bloody difficult.
This is a party political broadcast on behalf of the Labour Party. Are you looking for a new Prime Minister? Keir Starmer might be the man for you. He's unforgettable.
Keir Starmer? Have you ever heard of him? No.
He's dangerous. He's got the motivational skills of a football manager.
First game after this break, that's the one in 2 or 3 weeks.
He's got celebrity mates.
When I was at school, I had music lessons with Fatboy Slim.
Everybody loves him.
You have failed this country.
He's the human equivalent of ketamine.
I've been dubbed Special K since I was born.
Keir Starmer, come on, get into this K-hole.
So, start dealing with things that young people care about, like, I don't know, student debt.
Many graduates in England finished their studies more than £50,000 in debt.
50 grand! It's got so bad that apparently some students in the UK are being driven to work in the sex industry in order to cope with the rising cost of living and university tuition fees. That is not how you should have to get through your education.
What do you get at uni? 2-1 and herpes?
That is brutal, isn't it? If you're doing physics, you should be studying a black hole, not getting it out. But they're not just attacking teenagers, they're even attacking toddlers. Did you know that since 2014, hundreds of English playgrounds have been closed due to Tory budget cuts? They're robbing kids of the joy of a slide. How much money does it cost to run a slide? That's just metal and gravity. And it's such a joyful part of childhood. You're up there, then you're there. And you learn a new word. Whee! You can't say that as an adult. Will you marry me? Whee! You try it. That's a lovely blowjob. Whee! But who would do this? Don't ever do that, by the way. Who would do this? You'd have to have a leader who was sickened by the sight of children. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey, Ross, that's just one photo. She probably liked the other girl.
What exactly happened inside of the Idaho 4 house, and what were the exact sequence of events of how Brian Kohberger did it? Let's piece together all the evidence and the surviving roommates' accounts, along with criminal psychology, to finally reveal how it all sadly unfolded. Now, Let's get started. According to the Bryan Kohberger arrest affidavit, the two surviving roommates, Dylan and Bethany, went to sleep alone in their respective bedrooms after they reportedly got back to the house at 1 a.m. When this Idaho 4 story first broke, we all presumed the surviving roommates, Dylan and Bethany, slept peacefully on the first floor after they got back at 1 a.m., while Bryan wreaked havoc on the second and third floors of their house. However, with the information in the arrest affidavit, we found out that was not at all the case. There was one surviving housemate, Bethany, sleeping on the first floor, and the other surviving housemate, Dylan, was sleeping on the second floor. Therefore, this breaks the previously assumed commonality of bedroom floor location equals safety from Bryan. So bedroom location or bedroom floor was not a factor in who sadly got murdered. In criminal psychology, it's always helpful to compare commonalities among groups in a unique situation to have a better sense of what could have happened. If bedroom floor was not a commonality between who lived and who died, what appears to be the main commonality then? It seems to be the time they got back to the house. Everyone who went back to the house earlier and apparently went to sleep earlier lived. However, everyone who got back to the house later and went to sleep later sadly died. As we said in a prior analysis, it appears Madison and Kaylee were possibly targeted, but at least Kaylee was targeted. Therefore, Bryan seemed to have a set target or targets, and the others were sadly collateral damage to him to keep his identity a secret. However, what Bryan Kohberger apparently did not know is that Dylan heard a lot of what was going on, and Bryan allegedly walked right past her. She informed police of all of this in her statement. After I read through this very curious piece of the arrest affidavit, we'll break it down, but as I read it, don't just pay attention to what she says, also pay attention to what she doesn't say in her account. Dylan stated she was awoken at approximately 4 a.m. by what she stated sounded like Kaylee playing with her dog in one of the upstairs bedrooms, which was located on the third floor. A short time later, Dylan said she heard who she thought was Kaylee say something to the effect of, "There's someone here." A review of records obtained from a forensic download of Xana's phone showed that this could have also been Xana, as her cellular phone indicated she was likely awake using the TikTok app at approximately 4:12 a.m. Dylan stated she looked out of her bedroom but did not see anything when she heard the comment about someone being inside the house. Dylan stated she opened her door a second time when she heard what she thought was crying coming from Xana's room. Dylan then said she heard a male voice say something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." At approximately 4:17 a.m., a security camera located at 1112 King Road, a residence immediately to the northwest of 1122 King Road, picked up a distorted audio of what sounded like voices or a whimper, followed by a loud thud. A dog can be heard barking numerous times at 4:17 a.m. The security camera is less than 50 feet from the west wall of Xana's bedroom. Dylan stated she opened her door a third time after she heard the crying and saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. Dylan described the figure as 5 foot 10 inches or taller, male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. The male walked past Dylan as she stood in a frozen shock phase. The male walked towards the back sliding glass door. Dylan locked herself in her room after seeing the male. Dylan did not state that she recognized the male. This leads investigators to believe the murderer left the scene. Now let's break this down to figure out what seemed to have happened in the house that night. The affidavit confirms that Dylan was in fact sleeping at 4 a.m. What's even more curious than what Dylan said in her statement to police is what she did not say. Dylan did not say she heard a scream. Did you notice that? Someone surprises someone coming at them with a knife, especially two young girls, they will typically scream or yell. Maybe Dylan slept through the screams but was awakened by what sounded like Kaylee playing with her dog, whispers and crying. Of course not. There apparently weren't any screams. And surely screams would have been picked up by the neighbor's security camera, which was so sensitive that it picked up other noises in their house. Therefore, this indicates they were taken completely off guard and didn't see Bryan come into their room with a knife. For them not to scream, he would have had to sneak from the dark hallway into their dark bedroom. They apparently had no chance to yell or scream. At around 4 a.m., Dylan said she was awakened by what sounded like Kaylee playing with her dog upstairs. But given the timeline, it seems like that was when Bryan was attacking Madison and Kaylee. And when Dylan heard what she thought was Kaylee playing with her dog upstairs, that was possibly Bryan maneuvering while committing the acts. We can consider the possibility that Bryan was under their bed or in their closet and entered the house when they were all out and was lying in wait for the perfect time to strike. But police have Brian's alleged vehicle first sighted that early in the area at 3:09 a.m. Well, the housemates got back to the house at 2 a.m. from their night out.
Kaylee and Madison arrived home at approximately 1:45 a.m. after visiting a local bar and a street food vendor.
When their food comes, Kaylee takes a short video to post on social media, and they walk off together.
Therefore, Brian must have snuck into their house, and then specifically Madison and Kaylee's bedroom, when he saw an opportunity when everyone was in their bedrooms after 4 a.m. We know this because if Brian entered the house while people were in the common areas, there would have been yelling, screaming, and police would have been called. Dylan said she thought she heard Kaylee say, "There's someone here." However, that seemed to have been Xana, who was on the same floor as Dylan. So it's more likely to have been Xana saying that to her boyfriend Ethan, because it would have been much more difficult for Dylan to hear something whispered all the way from upstairs. Also, we know that Xana was awake then because she had a DoorDash delivery at 4 a.m. and records show Xana was on the TikTok app at 4:12 a.m. Piecing it all together, this is what seemed to have happened. After sadly murdering Madison and Kaylee on the 3rd floor, Brian was making his way down the wooden creaky staircase. Xana, who was wide awake at 4 a.m., heard some odd noise when he entered the house, and then aggressive movement throughout the house, including upstairs in Madison and Kaylee's bedroom. When Brian was coming down the stairs, Xana alerted her boyfriend Ethan with what Dylan heard as, "There's someone here." Dylan briefly opens her door the first time and doesn't see anything because Brian is slowly and quietly making his way down the staircase. Upon Xana's concern, Ethan checks it out, leaving Xana alone in her bedroom. Ethan eventually briefly spots Brian in the common area, but Brian is ready to quickly strike with his knife. After Xana heard brief and sudden movement in the common area, she apprehensively walks partially into the dark common area and was immediately surprise captured by Brian with his knife. Brian tries to bring Xana into her bedroom by knife point to avoid possibly being spotted by the other housemates. As Brian has Xana captured by knife point, she's crying in fear for her life, and possibly also because she knows Ethan was incapacitated by Brian, which that crying coming from Xana's room causes Dylan to open her door a second time and does not see anything because Brian already took Xana by knife threat into her room. In fear that Xana will scream and blow his cover, he says the first promising thing to come to mind: "It's okay, I'm gonna help you," to keep Xana quiet until he has her safely out of view into her room. Brian possibly closes or partially closes Xana's bedroom door behind him in hopes to reduce the sound of what he is about to do next, escaping to the ears of other housemates. He then commits his 4th and final murder in hopes of keeping his identity secret to get away with it. This is when their neighbor's security camera picks up the audio of what is likely Xana's whimpering, Brian's muffled voice. Xana possibly muffled something back to him in that recording, and the loud thud was possibly Brian letting Xana free fall to the floor. Dylan opens her bedroom door the 3rd and final time and sees Brian walk past her to exit the house in the dark through the back sliding glass door on the 2nd floor. After exerting all that energy and adrenaline, Brian was likely unaware Dylan spotted him, but was completely focused on getting out of the house after likely murdering more people than he initially expected. Dylan locks her door as a precaution since she thinks that there's still people hanging out in the house, which locking her bedroom door would give her additional peace of mind to more easily fall back to sleep. Some have asked, why didn't Dylan call 911 immediately? We don't know for sure, but it's likely she didn't think anything nefarious was going on and could have just thought that Brian was someone one of the housemates brought back while they were out, because we have to remember that Dylan got back earlier and went to sleep earlier than most of the housemates. Additionally, since Dylan saw Brian on the 2nd floor and she knew Ethan, who was staying with Xana, was also on the 2nd floor, and Brian, when she spotted him, could have been one of their friends or someone Madison and Kaylee was hanging out with that evening. We must also remember this is rural Idaho. The last murder took place almost 8 years ago in that town. It probably didn't even cross her mind that it was anything like what happened. When the sun rises, Dylan doesn't get up until very late in the morning because it's Sunday and her sleep was disturbed with all those odd noises from around 4 a.m. The other surviving roommate, Bethany, probably didn't go upstairs because she's all set downstairs on the 1st floor. When Dylan finally wakes up and walks into the common area in the 2nd floor, the late morning sun immediately makes Ethan's remains apparent and then looks for Xana in her bedroom and finds her remains. Dylan then calls 911, crying, hyperventilating, and can't speak to the 911 operator. It's possible she even fainted due to her hyperventilating. Therefore, the 911 operator called it into police as just someone unconscious at the house.
On the morning of November 13th at 11:58 a.m., a 911 call was placed. The call reported an unconscious person. The call originated from inside the residence, and the surviving roommate's cell phone was used.
Based on what we know so far from police, the evidence, and the arrest affidavit, this seems to be the likely sequence of events of what sadly happened in the Idaho 4 house during those early morning hours of Sunday, November 13th, 2022. Now in the comments, why do you think or don't think Bryan Kohberger is guilty? Let everyone know in the comments below. Subscribe for more.
Send feet pics. No.
You thick.
Whoa, I don't look like that. No, OnlyFans? Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Call Me Chris and you can call me Chris, and today we are going through my DMs, man. And you know, I do go through my DMs and I try to answer people, nice people, as much as I can, but there's a lot, and there's a lot that I don't see and that I haven't read, so we're just gonna go through those and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like I might get a little uncomfy, so I wear comfortable clothes, you know? And some people say dress for success, but I say dress for a zombie apocalypse. Because I could run away from zombies so fast in this outfit. You're wearing jeans, Jessica. What are you gonna do? You're gonna die immediately. Or if you wanna be like in an eating competition just on a whim, I'm ready to go. Look at these pants. Stretchy as hell. And I'm rocking the AC/DC shirt. And before Garrett in the comments says, well, she probably doesn't even know 5 AC/DC songs. You know what? Garrett, you probably can't even get 5 girls to look in your general direction, okay? So f you. I got really intense really fast. Anyway, Thunderstruck, Back in Black, Highway to Hell, Hell's Bells, and Dirty Dun Dirt Cheap Bitch. Okay, let's get into the video. Okay, so well, you know what? This guy's, oh no, he's happy right now. Okay, I love this. I got this in my unboxing video last time. And angry. So as of right now, we're happy, so we'll keep him happy octopus. And if I get DMs that make me angry, we switch him. Goddamn, stay. Let's go. Okay, first one. I have a crush on you. Heart. Thank you. I'm so awkward. I'm sorry. Next, this person sent me lyrics. Oh, I love this song. It's from Mainskin. I'm begging you. Put your loving hand out, baby. I'm begging you. Put your loving hand out, darling. Thank you for that DM. Put me in a good mood. My mama told me angels existed, but she left out that they were this beautiful. Oh my god. For all my DMs, shitty pickup lines. It wasn't bad. I wouldn't have fell for it, but go back to the books. You gotta work on that a little bit more. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night? Oh! Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars? I could really use a wish right now. Why are you guys all sending me lyrics? Why are we doing this? Is this to distract me? Because you guys know I have ADHD and I can't work when I get distracted by songs. Hey yo, Chris, look, my friend loves your TikToks right now. It's 5 a.m. and he's sending me your TikToks. He's obsessed with you. All right, love that. I was thinking maybe you could write a message, say, hey, Najos, and I could screenshot and send it to him. Next message. What the f, Chris? Post your TikTok already, you fucking prick, bruv. My friend wants to wank to your shit, man. What the f? That escalated so quickly. What?
Boy, that escalated quickly.
I was getting such nice DMs and now I'm getting threatened. What the f? Okay, well, that got interesting really fast. Let's keep going. Are you okay? Funny you should ask. No, I'm not okay. Hey, just for you to know that I have a crush on you. Thank you. Why can't you? Okay, what is your opinion on fries? What a great question. I love them. I don't like soggy fries. I will like sift through fries and only eat the crunchy ones. Must be with ketchup, otherwise I won't eat them. I can't eat dry fries. Hashtag team ketchup in the comments below if you're team ketchup. Hashtag dry fries if you're team dry fries in the comments down below. If you were any type of insect, which would you be? Wow, you guys are asking some really hard-hitting questions here. Insect, wow, that's a good question. I was gonna say spider, but that's what's that called? An arachnid?
Rock and roll.
I don't know, it's not an insect, I don't think. Maybe a beetle, like that beetle with hard shell. I don't know, I feel like it's got the most protection, but then it's like the most meaty. Maybe like animals want to eat that. I'm gonna think about this a lot. I won't be able to sleep tonight, Tommy, the guy that sent this to me. You are the sexiest girl on TikTok. Are you single? Listen, that is not a verb I would use to describe me, but thank you. And no, I am not single. So, sorry about that. See what else? Hey, got a question. Can you take this? Money emoji. Thank you. Because I got pulled over earlier and the cop told me that I needed to pay the fine. Oh, that was good. That was good. That was good. Because you gotta pay the fine because I'm fine. You guys are pumping me up right now. I'm getting like an ego boost today. This is nice. I wasn't having a good day, but that's good. I like that. I like, not still no, but that was good. OnlyFans? No, you're nasty. Made me throw my phone. Dog hair all over it now. No OF. You're kidding. Is it really you? You're Amazon. You're Amazon. That's how I read that. You're Amazon. You're Amazon. I'm gonna say that to everybody now. Oh my God, you're Amazon. Sorry, I'll stop. Let's keep going. Oh God. Hi, please say hi, please. Hi, 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 huh? Hi, hi, Chad. Hi, 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 hi. Hey, hi, 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 hey, 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 hey. Switch it up a little bit. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, sorry, up. Hey, 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 I, hey, 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 hey. Oh my God. Hey, yeah, hi, hey, hey, hi, hey. I'm not gonna open that voice message. Hi, hey, hi, hey, hi, hey, hi, hey, hi. Is that what you wanted? You're probably gonna know exactly who you are too if you watch this video. I love your TikToks. You're my role model, and I am a boy, but still you are. Aww, my heart. That's sweet. Thank you. Glad I could be that for you. Hey Chris, I'm just asking if you're able to do a SpongeBob impression or just his laugh. I can teach you the laugh. I think I tried to do that in one of my impression video. It's the first time trying it since. No, no, I can't do it. You can teach me. Well, I'll reach out. All right. Oh God, I like sex with you from ass. Please tell me like you. No. I don't know why I read that like Borat. I like it to with you, please. Oh, Eve. Okay, next. Oh my God, are you my sister separated at birth? Doppelganger. Her profile picture kind of looks like my face a little bit. Let's see, look at pictures of her. Sorry, I'm gonna creep now. Whoa, I don't look like that. Girl's got abs and all that shit. I don't, we could switch if you want. I'll take your lifestyle. You got a boogie board and a bathing suit with a cool sun tattoo. Nice. Oh yeah, I thought you mean like she kind of does look like me a little bit. She kind of does. Zoom up. Let's see. I'll do the same face as her. That's crazy. Okay, cool, 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 cool. I love that. Day 2 of texting you until you reply. Day 3 of texting you until you reply. A YouTube video. Defo eating vids. You thick. I'm sorry. You thick. Thank you. Thank you. Like Drew Barrymore. Thank you so much. I really been working hard on being thick. How's life? I'm feeling pretty tired, honestly. Honestly, Emerson, same. I feel you. Send feet pics. Here, I'll show you. No, you're nasty. You're like the OF guy. No, I gotta stop throwing my phone. Hey Chris, I'm your biggest fan and I hope you see this message. Give Riley a hug for me. Aw, I can do that for you. 1 second. Here I am. That's nice. That's real nice. Okay, that's enough. Stop. Are you the for real Chris? No. Girl, you need a Netflix show. You deserve it so much. Thank you. I'm working on it. I'm trying, man. I appreciate you. I gotta stop doing this, but it's kind of fun. I'll stop. You're hilarious. Keep it up. Thank you. It's a little Canada flag. We love to see it. We love to see it. Why so basic women have a lot of followers? It's the broken English for me. Why is so basic women have a lot of followers? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. You can answer that question for me in the comments below. Oh my God. Can I just give you my all and gain your trust before the tide comes in? You went out and you searched up laundry detergents to send this. I appreciate the effort. That's nice of you. I love it. You are the cutest thing on the planet. Stop pumping me up, guys. Stop pumping my tires, okay? I'll let them deflate a little bit. Jeez. Actually, the guy that said that, why do I have so many followers, kind of deflated my tires a little bit, but that's fine. Moving on. Boo. You got me. $10, me love you long time. Are you offering me $10 for you to love me long time, or do you want $10 from me to love you long time? Either way, it's gonna need to be at least 15. Okay, I have standards. Just saying. Hi, Chris. Do you consider bags to be the liquid form of boxes? What? Bags to be the liquid form of boxes? Yes. I'm not gonna sleep tonight, guys. What the f? Hi. What's your favorite food? Thank you for asking. asking. I have about 7 boxes of cereal in my pantry right now, so that's my favorite food. So good. Wow, dear, I really like you and your video. You are a interested person. I am an interested person. Thank you for noticing. Here's a pic of my dog in a dino suit for some good vibes. Aww, I love getting pictures of dogs in dino suits. He's so cute. Look at his little face. Zoom up on that little face. Oh, look at it's really cute. Love that. Thank you. What if Cinderella is a cooking slave instead of a cleaning slave and her name was Mozzarella? A cooking slave named Mozzarella. Hey, Mozzarella, get in the kitchen. Can I go to the ball? You got to finish the meatballs. That was the worst Italian accent ever. I'm so sorry.
Corretto.
All right, we got a few more here. Day 25 of pitching ideas to you until you notice me. I see you. All right, here we go. I'm excited to hear your ideas. Riley finds Janet's secret battery-operated toy. Not my best. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's inappropriate, sir. Let's see your other ones. Day 26 of pitching ideas to you until you notice me. Riley spends a day with Roger. That's it. Okay. Day 27 of pitching ideas to you until you notice me. A video where you pretend to be a news anchor commenting on the most natural yet bizarre things in your day-to-day life. Hey, I was actually gonna make a news anchor character, so now I might do that. Just because of you, HasDF, I might do that. Thank you for the suggestions. I swore I thought you were a cheerleader. No, I can't move like that. I can maybe do... That's all I got. I can't do anything else. I can't cheer and I'm not a leader, so nope, it ain't me. I have to know how you cut your hair. I'm looking to cut my hair like yours. I love it so much. Oh yeah, for sure. So if you're going to your hairdresser, just ask for a diamond layers in a bob, or you can ask for a shag bob. That's what mine is. It's got like a little hair tutorial here. Okay, I got like little shaggy layers back here. It's like, you know, I don't know. I like it shaggy, like Scoob. I have no words. I don't even know what to say then. I love you so much, 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 much. Also, no, you moved to a new house, but do you still live in Washington? I never lived in Washington. Are you stalking me? Are you following me? Please don't kill me. I'm not in the mood today, at least. So, oh, and what's your workout routine? You're so gorgeous. What's your skincare routine? Oh my gosh. My workout routine consists of me walking my dog. So, and yeah, I didn't do too much else than that. Sorry, that's probably disappointing. I want to get back into working out though. Maybe we'll do that together here on the channel. Skincare routine is also too complicated. Either it's I don't do anything and I go to bed with my makeup on my face, or I do a 15-step makeup routine. So, want to go on a date? Is there, okay, the profile picture is an infant baby child. So no. Oh my God, hi Chris, I'm a huge fan. If you saw this, I would literally cry. Chris is right here. Okay, not gonna cry today. Gonna be all right. I want to marry you. No, thank you. Pass. Hey, this is kind of random, but I was wondering if you ever be interested in going to the Marine Corps ball. That was sent yesterday. I don't even know what that is, to be honest. But probably not. Thank you for the invite, though. Very sweet of you. I hope it's a ball. It is a ball. I hope it's a blast. I hope it's a blast ball. Never mind. Moving on. Hello, Chris. I know you will never see this, but thank you for doing what you do. You saved my life, and I'm very sorry. I'm so very thankful for it because I'm now happy. I love you and what you do, Chris. Damn it! Thank you for saying that. That's very sweet of you. That makes my day. Appreciate that. Ooh, hi, I just wanted to send you a picture. I drew of you. I think your videos are amazing and they always make me laugh. Just wanted to repay you with something. That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love getting fan art and I save it to my phone and I'll switch out my backgrounds on my phone of your guys' fan art. I love it. That's beautiful. Thank you, Autumn. That's awesome. Well, we'll end on that one because that was like positive and we love that. I actually really love going through you guys' DMs. They're always very entertaining to read, and I try to get back to you guys if I can, and I will make even a better effort to get back to as many of you as possible because I do really appreciate your guys' messages, and I wouldn't be here without you guys. So I just want to formally say thank you so much for all your guys' support. It means the world to me. And in the next video, somehow you little bastards got me to 100K on my last video when I said I would do 5-minute crafts. I don't know why I just spoke Irish right there. Anyway, I said get me to 100K likes on my last video to do 5-minute crafts, and you did within 24 hours, which is absolutely bonkers to me. So thank you, and I will be doing horrible 5-minute crafts in my next video. So look forward to that, and subscribe, hit the like button, and hit that little notification bell so you know when I post my next video, and I will see you guys in my next video, okay? Bye!
We got big updates with the Atria Cutie Cinderella deepfake situation. Should people be able to be compensated for donating organs? You got Andrew Tate yelling stuff but getting slapped in the face by the law. We take a peek at some of the women helping nudge young men into a toxic pipeline. We're going to talk about all of that and so much more on today's brand new Philip DeFranco show, so buckle up, hit that like button, and let's just jump into it, you beautiful bastards. Starting with news about this Mensa members mini rant going viral.
If you're a man and you use the frowny crying face, you're gay. Back in the war days, you used to have to kill people. Why the f are you sad?
And that's just some of what that homophobic valedictorian was dropping. You know, a ton of people on the text line sent me this clip, said, hey, Phil, I want to know your feelings and your reactions to it. And ultimately, I just got two things to say. One's quick, one's longer. The first is that I hope that it is readily apparent that this is a trash person who you should not take serious in any capacity. It sucks that people like this exist, but treat her video like a vaccine. It's just prepping you for some of the hateful stupidity that is out there in the world that hopefully you don't need, but it's best to be prepared to combat it. But also, two, the person in this video who, by the way, if you happen to be watching, this is the most you'll ever matter. It sucks that your parents spent all those years raising you just so you could be like a small snippet of a Philip DeFranco video. I wanted to take a moment to note that people like this, it should end with them, or at least we should understand that these are like outliers. Because a big problem with our algorithmic news and content feeds is that we think that everything is what we see. What I noticed is that after I watched this video, I started being fed more and more content like it. Right? Starting to get snippets of random podcasts where you have like Instagram models saying like, a man is only worth what he can provide me. And the host sets the bait for the ridiculous person. And they're like, okay, well, if he's just there to provide you and give you what you want, what happens if he gets hurt? To which she responds, well, I guess I'll get a new one. And it's infuriating content that's meant to bait you into reacting with it, but then that just feeds the algorithm and then you get more stuff like that. And then I think a lot of people, especially young men, get fed more and more of this content, which then gets weaponized by top G fuckheads. So you got this algorithmic feed telling you this is what women are like, what society is like, what is expected of you, this is where value comes as a man. And then it throws you into this actually toxic masculinity pipeline. The toxic masculinity gets thrown around way too much these days, but actual. And with that, there's a lot of misogyny, and all of that is taken advantage by a bunch of guys that call themselves like alpha or top G that have programs they're selling or podcasts they're trying to get you to watch. Because of course the easiest way to monetize something is to set into people's heads. It's a us versus them thing. And that's why to close this story, I really want to speak specifically to the men, the young men that watch this show. I hope that we can realize a number of things. The first is that anyone that uses gay as a slur or a slam should go fuck themselves. They're worthless. They should have just saved themselves the energy and wore a shirt that says nothing of value comes out of my mouth. Also, real men can and do cry. They can hug their male friend. They can share their feelings rather than just suffering in silence. That sort of behavior just makes angry young men who feel victimized by the world. And there are a number of things in society that do need to change more and more, like it being widely viewed by a number of people that men are only worth what they can provide for a family. And I say this as the breadwinner for my family, that it can be different for different couples. That you don't have to fit into some fucking previously crafted box that society was like, now you fit in. Because we're all just a bunch of fucking evolved monkeys on a spinning rock trying to figure shit out. And hopefully while we're here, while it will never be the entire time, we can feel happy and we can feel satisfied and feel like we're doing some good here while we're here without having to other or villainize other people who are just existing. And I'm not saying don't hate, just, you know, hate specific people based off of their actions, not whole groups, even though, once again, based off of the algorithmic feeds, it can make it feel like everyone. And then we got a big but quick Andrew Tate update, because just as I was finishing up today's show, the AP reported that a Romanian court upheld a second 30-day detention for Tate after an appeal, who of course is currently being held on suspicion of organized crime and human trafficking, which means Tate, as well as his brother who's being held for the same investigation, will be in custody until at least February 27th. With BBC News reporting that in the initial decision to extend the Tates' custody in January, the judge cited the capacity of the defendants to exercise permanent psychological control over the victims, including by resorting to constant acts of violence. And while Andrew Tate and his brother have been accused of human trafficking, rape, and organized crime, both Andrew and his brother have denied those allegations. And we saw them still doing so while walking into the court this morning.
Are you innocent, Mr. Tate?
No, I'm innocent.
Also doubling down on this while leaving the hearing.
Ask them for evidence, and they will give you none, because it doesn't exist. You will find out the truth of this case soon.
Also with this situation, we've seen a big update regarding their defense, with the brothers reportedly hiring lawyer Tina Glandian to join the defense team. And Glandian is very notable because she's represented people like Chris Brown, Juicy Smollett, and Kesha, with reports saying that she definitely brings a lot of experience to Tate's team. And today we saw her defending the brothers by claiming that there are outside pressures influencing the case, and adding, so far the system has failed. And then, what would you give to get out of prison? How much does it matter to you? That's what 2 Democratic state representatives are asking right now in a bill they just introduced that would allow inmates to donate their organs or bone marrow in exchange for reduced sentences. With the idea being that if these inmates do this, they get between 60 days and a year off of their original term. And man, when I tell you that when one of the bill's sponsors, Judith A. Garcia, tweeted this out, she got torn to shreds in the replies. People calling it disgusting, predatory, and egregious violation of medical ethics. Now, Garcia argued in defense of her bill that it'll grant inmates bodily autonomy and help the 4,000 people waiting for organ donations in Massachusetts. But critics have fired back that you can't have true bodily autonomy when you're incarcerated, and arguing that there are better ways to facilitate organ donation without coercion. What we ended up seeing after all this backlash is another sponsor of the bill, Carlos Gonzalez, telling Vice that he's open to dropping the sentence reduction incentive from the bill, and saying if that happens, it could become something more reasonable, or because people have long advocated getting rid of the roadblocks keeping prisoners in many states from donating to family members, saying that broadening the pool of potential donors would help those more susceptible to organ failure who are disproportionately Black and Latino, as well as strengthening the donors agency by giving them access to the healthcare needed to go through with the procedure. But even then, you have some critics saying it's just impossible to get informed consent from an environment as inherently coercive as a prison, where inmates are often mentally ill, poor, and uneducated, and merely the perception that their conditions might improve if they donate, whether correct or not, is dangerous. But with this story, I really would love to know your thoughts here. Right, with what's been proposed, are you a hard no? Are you a yes on just the family? Are you a yes for if they donate, they get time off? And I ask because I remember from polling somewhere within the last 5 years that actually a majority of Americans are in favor of financial compensation being allowed for something like a kidney donation. Or because the average wait time for a kidney, if you get on the list, is over 4 years, and you have thousands of people dying because they don't get donations. So to just stack on another question, because you know I love throwing them at you, if you are someone that's in favor of being able to compensate someone for donating an organ, do you also think that should go to someone like a prisoner in the time that they're serving? Or do you see that situation as something far different from just money because someone's incarcerated? Which I will say, the compensation stuff is something that I always struggle with. Like, I personally think that it should be allowed, but I also understand the arguments against it, because all of a sudden you might create this system where, you know, the poor are just exploited for their fucking organs. You know, you're just giving the top 5 to 1% even more reason to keep poor people suppressed because, hey, organ farm, which then immediately makes me go, oh no, there shouldn't be compensation allowed, at least in the form of money. But then also I'm like, I feel like we should reward people that are otherwise being generally selfless. Help me come to a conclusion on this one. Let me know what you're thinking. And then, longtime viewers know, I keep my Vessies by the door, which actually really made life easier during the recent rain we had here. Their new Stormburst sneakers keeping my feet dry and warm in the wettest weather I've been in a long time. So thank you, Vessi, for sponsoring today's show. And you know, Stormbursts are made for the winter season with the grip and the coverage of an outdoor boot, perfect for muddy hikes or being in snowy mountains. Plus, Vessies are built for everyday life because they actually keep your feet warm and dry through the rain. Definitely a great choice when dealing with unpredictable weather, and the must-pack shoe when traveling. They're 100% waterproof and snowproof sneakers that are incredibly comfortable and breathable. And Vessies are great for the whole family. They fit like a sock, so you barely notice you're wearing them. Whether you're hiking or you're caught in a storm, these sneakers are highly functional and stylish. Simply put, Vessi's new Stormburst sneakers are fantastic and a great new style to add to your collection. So go to vessi.com/DeFranco today and get 15% off your entire order. Go get your style and size before they sell out. And then we got a ton of updates on that Atrioc deepfake controversy we talked about yesterday. I'm gonna try to keep it pretty lean because for the most part, it's like all the people that should be sorry have said sorry. So I really do want to say at the top of this piece what I said at the end of yesterday's piece. This really shouldn't be a situation where for you to think that this is like actually a big deal, that it would need to be like your daughter, your sister, your girlfriend, your wife, your mom, or someone that you know. And if it would make you feel different on it, I'm not gonna villainize you, but I think that you need to look inside and try and grow from this. But of course, the gist of the story is that this streamer, Atrioc, got caught opening a tab where there was a deepfake porn website, which notably hosted explicit deepfakes of very high-profile female streamers, with many of those women being his colleagues and, in fact, people that are connected to the people that he knows. So there was tons of backlash. A number of the women that were featured on that site speaking out. Well, we covered Atrioc's initial apology where he was speaking and his wife was crying behind him yesterday. He's also since released a written apology apologizing to the female streamers who were actually pictured in his tab, saying your names were dragged into this and you were sexualized against your will, saying I'm sorry my actions have led to further exploitation of you and your body, also saying he wanted to correct the damage he caused. With that, noting that Cutie Cinderella, who was one of the streamers featured on that site, was able to get the site taken down after working with a law firm. And Atrioc saying he's working with a law firm to figure out the cost of the legal fees for the women impacted. With Vice reporting that the creator of that website also issued an apology that read, I feel like the total piece of shit I am. The best course of action I have understood is to wipe my part off the internet and help decrease the number of future videos of those involved. You will not see me pop up again. But also, it's probably easy to be like, you know what, this is on me, I'm so sorry, after you've been threatened with a lawsuit. Which actually, regarding that, Cutie Cinderella spoke on it in a stream yesterday.
And I still plan on pressing legal charges. So I don't, it's nice that they deleted it, but I still plan on moving forward with what I'm working on.
We also saw more apologies roll in with that of Ethan Klein. There was a moment on the podcast where they were watching Cutie Cinderella just issuing this powerful response, with him then playing the Christmas song over, breaking into fits of laughter, with him apologizing right after, but of course there was still massive backlash. So we saw him post a video yesterday saying he feels horrible, especially since he has so much respect for Cutie.
And that's the part that kind of sucks for me the most, is that someone who I actually really want to support may have felt worse on an already difficult situation because of my careless and very, very inappropriate and gross and stupid behavior, right?
Cutie also speaking on stream, saying that Ethan reached out to apologize personally.
Like, I didn't instantly forgive him. I literally said, why would you do that to me? It's really f***ed up of you. But I do believe he's sorry. I think he shouldn't have done that. I think he knows he shouldn't have done that.
We also saw a response from Ludwig, not only a massive creator, but Cutie Cinderella's boyfriend. So he just kind of posted a video largely sharing the stories and reactions of the women impacted. Also noting that as far as why he didn't instantly respond to all of this happening, he said, hey, I'm a boyfriend first, and, then I'll talk about it. But he wanted to be there for the person impacted, which makes sense, and it's weird that anyone, would, I don't know, think there's any other reason why he wouldn't speak on it. But for me, personally, I think the most interesting aspect of the story is what is going to happen through this lawsuit. Because truly, nothing changes until more and more precedents are set. Right, well, this story is different. It reminds me of all the things that led to legislation around revenge porn. There were well-known websites that were dedicated to revenge porn for a while, and it took time plus lawsuits for the law to catch up. But for now, we're gonna have to wait to see what happens, because remember, this is just one instance of a growing problem. And then, the UK hasn't seen a strike this big in over a decade. You've got more than 500,000 workers, mostly teachers, civil servants, and train drivers, crowding the streets for what's been dubbed Walkout Wednesday. And with nearly all the rail travel down right now, tens of thousands of schools have closed, the military's been placed on standby to help with border checks. And as you'd expect, the number one issue here is money, because year-over-year inflation hit 10.5% in December, which drove up the price of food and energy in particular. So you've got workers demanding pay raises to keep up with the inflation and to redress the pay cut that they've suffered in real terms over the past several years. With them also seeking pension reforms and protesting a bill passed in the lower house yesterday that would enforce minimum service levels in some sectors, which notably allows some workers to be fired for not working on strike days. Now, as far as the government's response to this, it's the same that it's always been. Hard condemnation of the workers. With Prime Minister Rishi Sunak asking, what about the kids missing school today, and arguing that pay raises will further spur inflation. And this is the government's been absolutely battered by wave after wave of strikes in recent months, with us only having to look back to this last December to see the largest nurses strike in the history of the NHS. And some think that the government's hardline approach to the labor unrest has cost it politically, because Conservatives now trail the Labour Party by some 25 points in the polls. And the strikers are aiming their sights squarely on Sunak.
Rishi Sunak, hear us say, we need you to raise our pay.
And although the unions have coordinated their walkouts for the big demonstration today, most plan to spread their strikes over weeks or months, with nurses, ambulance staff, paramedics, emergency call handlers, and other healthcare workers set to strike next week as well. And so I ask all you beautiful bastards that are out there in the UK, what's going on right now? How you feeling? What do you see? Let me know about it in those comments, and we'll talk about it some more later this week. And then, as it turns out, there's actually something that both Democrats and Republicans in the Obama, Trump, and Biden administrations can agree on: salmon. Right? In addition to being my favorite source of protein, there's also kind of a controversy around it. Recently, the Biden EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, issued a rare veto, effectively blocking the proposed pebble mine in Alaska, issuing a final determination under the 1972 Clean Water Act, banning disposal of mine waste as part of the crystal-based water, deciding that the watershed had drained and served as crucial breeding grounds for the salmon population, saying that disposing of waste there would destroy 100 miles of streams and 2,100 acres of wetlands. And the EPA saying the decision is necessary to protect not only the fisheries in the area, but also the region's culture. However, the area also contains deposits of precious metal ores, which is what the pebble mine would be, mining. The project calls for a mile-wide open pit that would eventually go to 1,500 pounds of rock into the process. And that will also require the construction of a power plant, pipeline, and access to a port. And all of this because the ore is more valuable than hundreds of millions of dollars. So the Pebble Limited Partnership, the group behind the Pebble project, they've been trying to get to it for decades, and they faced a roller coaster trying to get started. So history here is first introduced in the early 2000s and found some support a few years later with Republican Sarah Palin, the governor of Alaska at the time. But the Obama-era EPA blocked that mine in 2014, also citing the Clean Water Act and the risks to the salmon. Then you had Trump come into office and reverse that decision, breathing life back into the mine's future. But actually, late in the Trump presidency, we saw some Republican opposition to the project, seeing it as a risk to the sport fishing in the area. So what happened is that the United States Army Corps of Engineers denied the Pebble mine a critical permit, with Pebble Limited now now entering its third year of appealing that decision. And in December of 2022, the Conservation Fund purchased the conservation easements of 44,000 acres about 20 miles south of the proposed mine site, meaning that creating an access road to the mine is now much more difficult, bringing us to right now, when the EPA once again blocked the project under the Clean Water Act. And a key thing to note here is that the EPA does not often use this veto power. In the last 30 years, it has been used a whopping total of 3 times. So with this, as you'd imagine, the pro-Pebble people not happy, with the Pebble Partnership chief executive saying in a statement, "Unfortunately, the Biden EPA continues to ignore fair and due process in favor of politics. This preemptive action against Pebble is not supported legally, technically, or environmentally. As such, the next step will likely be to take legal action to fight this injustice." And the governor of Alaska also speaking out against the decision, saying the EPA's vote sets a dangerous precedent, saying it lays the foundation to stop any development project, mining or non-mining, in any area of Alaska with wetlands and fish-bearing streams. But here we're seeing the EPA and the decision supporters standing by it, with the EPA administrators saying the decision was made after extensive review of science and technical research, arguing we're committed to making science-based decisions within our regulatory authority that will provide durable protections for people and the planet. And that's exactly what we're doing today. And the director of United Tribes of Bristol Bay calling the decision a moment of justice after being told the mine was inevitable. But we're not done here, because the EPA has acknowledged that the decision could be overturned in the future, but stands by the science behind it, saying obviously a final determination may be challenged in a federal court, and we can't predict what future administrations may or may not do. But what we can assure everyone is that there is a very solid record here. And so that appears to be the way that things will likely be for at least the next 2 years, unless something happens with the legal challenges in that time span. But for now, that's where we are. And that's where I'm going to end today's show. For more news you might have missed, I got you here. But my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love yo faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Flat Earther wanted to...
And this is where I'm going to end it as well. Thank you to Anita, because that might be in the background. Hope you have a good evening. Next time. Good night.